Hi everybody.
Hi.
I'm Danny.
And I'm Andrea.
And we are the voice of the Meeple. Today we're going to be reviewing Gentes by Tasty Minstrel Games. They sent us a copy of this to review. So we're going to be telling you about it. And it is a special daytime edition of Voice of the Meeple. Every other review we've done has been filmed at nighttime after the boys' bedtime. So
if we get interrupted, that's why.
Yeah, you're going to have my coffee here.
For
the morning
edition.
Morning edition. Troy and Abed in the morning.
Oh. Troy and Abed review Gentes. Delightful.
Alright.
Okay.
So, Gentes, the basics of the game. It's a civilization game, so it has a lot of similarities with other civilization games. It's played in a number of eras. And it's primarily a card-based game, so at times it reminded me kind of Seven Wonders.
Yeah.
You have the 3 different eras of cards, with the 1, 2, and 3 on the back. They get more complex, and they're all things that you would expect in early civilizations, like a winery, a mine,
a well,
an
water
altar.
for wine, maybe.
Yeah. And they get more complex as you go. So some of the 3rd era ones, Acropolis, music school, aqueduct, pyramid. So some fun stuff that as you progress your civilization. And like I said, mainly it's in the cards, but you also have the centralized map, which sets it apart from just the card-based Seven Wonders. So yeah.
So one of the things that I liked about this game was the idea that you need to train your populace in order to develop these different, technologies, locations for your civilization. You have 6 different types of people that you can be. Oh, let's see if I can remember them all. Nobleman, warrior, priest, craftsman, merchant, and philosopher?
Something like that.
Yeah, okay. And they're on your player mat ahead of you. You keep track of them with little icons to the right and to the left. And as you train them, you move them across. Say, I now have 1 of them, I have 2, I have 3. But the deal is they're on opposite sides, and if you have more of this type of craftsman, then you have to have fewer noblemen. They get in the way of each other. So it's an interesting trade-off to decide how far should I specialize to the right or to the left at the expense of the other. It's interesting.
Yeah, and just, the cards will have different requirements on this. The winery requires 1 nobleman, 2 merchants, and 1 priest. So, as you're looking at what cards to get, as you're looking at what cards to get, you're gearing your population towards that.
Yes.
Yeah. Another thing that I really like is just the mechanism for your actions in a round. So you have your board here, and along the top is, I'm not sure what it's called, I think it's like your time track. And you have a certain amount of time basically in each round to do stuff. And so when you take an action, you're going to grab one of the action little tiles from the board. This one is to buy a card, to purchase a card. And each one of these will have a different number of hourglasses on it, and you'll place it on your board and then take an hourglass and put that on your board as well. So this action just takes 1 hourglass. Some actions can take up to 3 hourglasses.
Can you hold 3 hourglasses?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So that is just interesting because you'll have some rounds where you do a ton of actions because you're doing short actions with few hourglasses.
Yeah.
Some rounds you only do a couple because they take a lot of hourglasses. And there's also a fun trade-off with you can take 2 hourglasses and put them in the same square to save space. But then the next round, normally you clear your board of all the hourglasses, but in that case you would only take 1 of those hourglasses off. So you'd start the next round with 1 square already taken up. So it hurts you in the next round.
Yeah, it's like you delay the cost of the next round in order to do something right now and get that benefit right away. It's so interesting trying to decide, should I spread these out and take the hit now? Should I put it off till next round? Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the best things about the game.
Yeah, and one of the strongest thematic things about the game, because you can just imagine, each thing does take more time, and if you put more time into it now and you exhaust your people, then the next
need to recover in
they're
space.
tired next time. So.
Oh, and you have 7 squares in your turn tracker, your time track at the beginning, but you can get cards that allow you to unlock an additional square and give you more time. So that's something to watch out for. And also you do, as the game progresses, you automatically remove 2 locks and give yourself more time.
Yep, as you enter each new era, you unlock more time on your board.
Yeah.
So, those are all things that are, a lot of fun about the game. Another thing I like about the game is just the artwork. It is really simplistic artwork, but I like it. It's kind of in the style of cave painting, drawings. That's what it reminds me of.
Merchant.
Which is fun for a civilization game. They're cute little drawings, which I think is really pretty.
And I think I got a little spoiled by Seven Wonders personally. It doesn't speak to me. I love the really rich illustrations in some other Civilization games I've played, and this one was a little simplistic for my taste.
Yeah. So another thing that I like about this game that does go with the action selection is we mentioned the hourglasses, that is the cost, but then there's also a cost in coins. So you're getting coins from different things in this game. Some of them come from cards, some of them come from the cities you build. And generally, the more coins you spend, the fewer hourglasses you're going to spend.
Yeah.
So there's a trade-off. You can invest more money into something and use up less time, but it is kind of hard to come by coins at times. So
and they also have interesting drafting mechanisms with coins, where if you spend more, you have more options. So you can decide, I can spend less and get this limited range of cards or people, or I can invest more coins to have more choices. So there are a lot of different decisions coming into play when you're picking an action.
How to use those coins. Yeah.
Dislikes?
Let's talk about some things we dislike about the game.
Okay. It all comes down to theme. Honestly, this promised so much. When we heard about the mechanism for the training, when we heard about the different actions on the cards, we really expected everything to tie in beautifully, and we felt like it fell short. Do you want to elaborate there?
Yeah, a lot of times it does feel pretty much just like an abstract game. Whereas with the Civilization game, I feel like it has the potential to be very thematic. But even for example, for these the people that you're training, your population, to get the cards, I think it is thematic in ways. If you look at it and think about it, for like the mine, you need to get 3 craftsmen, which makes sense, I guess. And you lose a craftsman going into the mine, which is he dies down there, I guess.
I mean, you can stretch it to make it work. Like this well requires a philosopher, a craftsman, and a nobleman.
Yeah.
I mean, you can try to come up with a scenario where it makes sense, but it isn't particularly clear.
And you're not really thinking about that as you're playing. You're
just matching symbols.
Yeah, you're matching symbols. I think it would even help just to have the words, the names of the different populations below them. Have warrior. Then you're thinking, I need to get more warriors.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just a symbol. It's just a guy with a shield, and you need to match that with the guy on the shield in here. So it almost just feels like a little puzzle that you're working out, which people that like abstract games, they'll love that. For me, I do like more thematic games rather than abstract. So for me, that's a minus.
And each of these actions has a name that matches Civilization, but that doesn't stay present in your mind. Maybe even having that out here, this is a construction, and this is, I don't remember what they are.
Yeah,
scribe.
Yeah, it's just, for me, it's just, getting cards, playing cards, building cities, training
about the cities. When we first saw the map, we definitely expected it to be more of this is the central mechanism of the game, is you're taking over, you're building your civilizations, maybe you'll expand them. But this is actually this is your central gameplay. And these unlock abilities, like they'll get you a few more coins, or they'll give you more flexibility on the people that you can use, but that's not the central strategy to win the game. It's just a support. And for some reason that also felt, I don't know, it weakened the theme a little bit.
It definitely weakens the theme in my mind, because you're building a civilization, that's the whole point of the game, but you're just building these cities kind of
randomly all
over. You could have one in Memphis, you could have one up in Syracuse, and it doesn't really matter. They just give you different benefits for building there.
The history buff here is saying, but why?
Yeah, I'd like to see it more of, if you have a centralized map, it's a city that you're building or something. I don't know. But definitely the action goes on your own map. That's the central, and the cards that you're playing on your tableau, and then the cities are just kind of a sideshow.
It's tough to compare with Seven Wonders, where there are different types of cards that you can get, and that they build on each other really fluidly. Like you start with a very simple technology, and then you get a higher level and a higher level, and you collect those colors. It isn't that way in this game. The technologies don't build off of each other, and I feel like that was a missed opportunity. You do try to collect ones that have similar icons on them. Each one has a number of 4 symbols, and you want to have repeated symbols. But the symbols are meaningless. They're just, again...
Just kind of random symbols, yeah.
I mean, I like that it helps you decide which cards to go for, and it's fun and interesting, but it's not a theme builder.
Yeah, it would have been kind of cool if the cards lead you down a path, or you're encouraged to get other cards because you got this one, and it makes sense.
Like it would be a military track, or it would be more of an academic track. But perhaps that was tricky to balance with this training mechanism.
Yeah.
Yes.
At the end of the game, when you're looking at all the cards you got, they're just kind of random, the names of them anyway. So yeah, in that way, it just feels a little more like an abstract game that you're playing, and they just named the cards kind of for fun. But
Were there any other issues? So lack of theme.
yeah, that's really the biggest thing for us is the lack of theme. So if you're someone who that doesn't bother, if you like abstract games, you're probably going to really like this if you're into civilization games, because there are a lot of really cool things about it. We really like the action selection and just the trade-offs that you're making as you're making those actions.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's Gentes. Check it out by Tasty Minstrel Games.
Oh my gosh, the kids didn't come in.
We made it. Or we edited it out and you didn't notice.
Thanks for watching.
Have a good day.
Bye. We should do
Spilled it everywhere.